Welcome to Tip and Tell Tech. My name is Keith, and I provide you the straight and level tips on technical gear, tools, and gadgets. And today I kind of want to talk about bit driver sets. I want to kind of describe the variety of bit driver sets there are. You can see I have quite a few collection over the years, and the specific purpose for each one. I want to kind of talk about, what bit driver set works for what type of project or job or task that you're looking for. I got everything as small as a multi-drive or multi-tool bit driver set all the way up to a complete set with 40 some pieces. So there's a variety of bit driver sets I have here, and I want to kind of discuss each one, not in too details, but just kind of my take of what I feel about them, what they're good for, what they're useful for, and just kind of give you my perspective. And of course, I'll give you my tips and my tells. With that, let's go ahead and get this started. So, as you can see here, we're going to talk about bit driver sets, and kind of want to talk about each one's type of bit driver set and what the purpose is. As you know, I work out in the field. I'm a technical, I do everything from, technical field support to field service to installation support with high-tech industry. So I install several types of equipment. I provide service and support to a variety of equipment, whether it's on the border, at airports, or a customer site. So I have quite a bit of a tool set that I bring with me, and certain tools are required for certain equipment. And obviously, when I travel, sometimes I travel by car, where I'm free to bring, my whole full tool set, and sometimes I travel by air, where I can check it, but sometimes it's just one day, and I just need to carry on, so I'm limited to what tools I have. Now, also, you got to think about when you're working, whether it's working for your job or just doing some projects around the house or full construction, you got to know what you're doing. So, you got to look at, if I'm going to be working and doing a major project construction on my house, building a deck or whatever it is, I'm probably going to use something a little more robust than you see here, these bit driver sets. I'm going to use drill bits with impact drivers, obviously my full set of tools to do that project. If I'm working on something with the car, obviously I'm going to use a full set with socket sets and bits and, wrench and things like that. But a lot of the stuff I work on is electronics and everything like that. And so I'm kind of more concentrated on bit driver sets that are a little bit for the smaller tasks, things that require, you're traveling, you don't want to bring so much, your full tool bag with you and everything like that. So that's what I'm looking at. So I'm going to kind of talk about what each one is. And obviously you can see what they are, but I want to talk about kind of the purpose and what tasks they could be used for. And it's an idea that I came up with. I apologize for my finger. I a little bit of we're cutting down a tree, and I got my pruning saw. I kind of cut my finger, so I gashed it a little bit. But anyway, so let's talk about this. So, you got everything from here's a Gerber center drive, and you can see, it's got its own bit driver set, and it's great for being an EDC type of bit driver set, just on the go, where you got your bits here. You're limited to what types of bits you have, so you really got to know that this is kind of like for everyday, just normal tasks, just simple maintenance around the house, simple things. So you got your slotted screwdrivers and Phillips screwdrivers, a couple Allen sets, and that's about it. You're very limited, but it's great that you could carry it and with you and everything like that. So I like the center drive, but I have multiple tools that I use for that. So so you can see with that. Then of course you get other ones that are a little more smaller and precise. Obviously, sometimes I got a ratchet thing. I can put an adapter on here for a ratchet set, but sometimes you may just go with simple Allen key here, where you just take your bits and put it on here, and just a simple tool, you got the 90-degree angle and everything like that you can use. So simple projects, maybe electronics, smaller devices, maybe jewelry repair, things like that, that you can use. Talking about jewelry repair that you can also, see that you have, these are all 1/4-inch bits right here, but then you got something a little bit smaller for precision tools that you can use, and all the different bits for that. And this is, obviously for maybe watch repair, jewelry repair, small electronics. You want to have a full set that you have here, even with a bend extender and things like that, with magnifying glass to see the small screw or whatever that you're trying to put together or take off. So, so those are the smaller items that you have that you bring with you. Other kits that you may have, you may want to bring is obviously in your tool bag. Instead of bringing a full kit like this or this, you may just bring it all in one because you want to save space or weight on your tool bag. So you may, go smaller. And I bring this on the plane. It meets the TSA requirements of being less than a 6-inch tool. Obviously not a blade tool, but you got an all-in-one type of a stubby ratcheting, bit driver here. I've brought this with me and put the specific bits that I want on there. So this works out great and everything like that. Obviously you can't get too much torque on it, but it's for small little projects. You can get something a little bit bigger. You can store a little bit more bits, a little more robust, a little bit stronger. So keep in mind that if you need something a little bit, get more torque or anything on what you're taking apart and putting together, with an extension, you may want to get something a little bit bigger like this. And then, again, this is a ratcheting set, so you can just take whatever bit you want. Let's say security Torx, or this is regular Torx. And this probably needs to use an adapter on this one here. So this one requires a special adapter, and so it does get cumbersome sometimes with these kits, where you have to kind of assemble it, as you can see here, to use it. But it does have the ratcheting feature. Got the extension for long reach, that more than the stubby or these other kits that are limited on length. But, it requires assembly, so it's not as fast and quick as putting a bit in and everything. You have to put extensions and things like that in there. So keep that in mind if time is an essence when you're trying to work on a project and everything. So, all right. And then, of course, you got different sizes and capacities. So, I got the cheap Husky ones that kind of pulls out. And then, of course, you got a little bit more advanced ratcheting system for quick work, a lot of torque and everything like that. Again, it stores the bits, longer bits and double-sided bits that you have here. And then moving up there, I've just ordered this kit here. And that's also one of these things, is sometimes putting these things back together is a pain in the neck, as you can see here. But I just ordered this ratcheting kit online. I saw the things here. And this is kind of a neat concept because you can set this up to a couple of ways you want to do it. You can just do a real simple, if you need to, simple ratcheting thing, something small, again, the small little corner, you can do that. If you need a little bit of a length, you can, of course, add the length here that you need, whatever you're doing here. So ratchet and everything like that. It's great for getting into smaller corners or hard to reach areas. And of course, you can go full length here, and the only thing I advise about this is that it's not the most robust and sturdy bit driver, because it's connected by 3 parts that can come apart. It's magnet, so these bits are held by magnet. And one thing about bits is they either have the ball dent or they're magnetic. I like the magnet because it stays there. You put it like this, and it's easy to get in and out of. But keep in mind, with this type of setup, it's not the most strongest and sturdiest. But if you don't need something strong and sturdy, you're just putting together equipment or electronics and not a deck or anything, this is going to be fine. So, so you can go again, nice little kit here. You've probably seen this on the TikTok thing. I've seen that on here, and I got this at Amazon. Again, top precision bit set for maybe smaller electronics, watches, jewelry repair. So, it's not the 1/4-inch bit set. The smaller bit sets you have here. This is as a full set here. If you need something a little bit more than just bits and you need sockets, sometimes you can get just something that's a cheap kind of Husky, but obviously you got your different size bits, Torx, you've got flathead, you got Allen wrenches, square bits, and all that. But it's got the capacity to do, you know, do a socket set if you need to do a socket set and things like that. So make sure you get the right size in there. And that's not the right size there. And I might be missing that bit for that on there. So it also has a storage capacity too here. You can see that all of them fell just right out. So, but anyway, so that's a nice little setup. I don't like the case. It's fragile and breaking. This Cobalt system, again, same concept, a little more robust. As you can see here, it holds the pieces a little better. And again, you take it out, it can store bits in here, you know, inside there, just like the other one. So you don't need to go back to this kit. But you got your different bits that you can put in there. Again, this is a ratcheting system. So this is a nice little kit right here. I've used this quite a bit because it's got a little bit of everything. It's strong enough, robust enough. It's ratcheting. It's got, you know, socket set, all different types of bits. So this works pretty nice and everything like that. So I've used this quite a bit. And it's compact and it closes up. The bits don't come loose or anything like that. And just slide this in. So this is a nice little setup. For work, we use sometimes these specialized things. WeHob, they are a pretty good company. Obviously, there's a little more robust extended bits here. It's, you know, it's a depth. You can choose the different lengths that you need to, that you got to reach. You know, so you got quite a bit of reach. It's not ratcheting or anything like that, but it's quick. But it's a complete set. It's a little fold-out kit with Torx wrenches, security Torx, Allen wrenches, and then of course the Phillips and flathead. There's more that you can add in there, but I use this at a lot of work. Only thing is it's not ratcheting, and if you're doing a lot of removing or installing screws, it wears on you sometimes. So on that. So you can see the variety of different types of bit driver sets that we have here. And what I like to do is, obviously I travel a lot and everything like that, and I like to, you know, keep things as small and simple, but make sure I have all the bits that I need. I don't want to be left empty-handed if I need a certain type of bit and I don't have it, a certain torque bit or, you know, Allen bit, I don't have it. I forgot that. So what I like to do is sometimes, you know, instead of, you know, going through all this kits and these plastic cases, you know, that they come in here, they break easy and these are bulky. Sometimes I like to do is I like to just put it in a heavy duty pouch like this. So I may just do like this. I might just take, you know, take like a bit driver or something like this. Maybe it's robust. I'll put that in there. Bit holders. You see these bit holders. You got this one that has everything. You can throw that in there. This, you know, it's like 42 pieces. Pretty much got you covered. You put that in there. If you don't need so much, you want to save on weight, you can put it in just what you need in this little sleeve holder of bits. This works out really good. And slide that in. Be careful which ones you want to use. Make sure it's secure. It doesn't come loose. These ones here that are labeled, sometimes you can see that they do come loose and come out. The reason why is I don't like having a whole bunch of loose bits in my pouch here that I have. I don't want to be digging around trying to pull them all out. I'd like to just bring out one thing and have it all right here. You know, you can use something from a multi-tool. This holds pretty good. So find something that's like a rubber-based bit holder like this. That works great in there. And of course, you know, throw that in there. You know, wrenches, maybe a socket ratcheting wrench, things like that. In precision, you know, again, I have a small little precision one. You know, see the different precisions I need for small electronics. I might throw this in here. And basically just got a complete kit here. So you got everything you kind of need. And maybe throw in a socket wrench and things like that, some sockets, and that's pretty much all I need here. So I got that in there and hold it up, and you see it's compact, it's durable. and it's got everything duplicate. Maybe I'll throw a couple sets of bits in there just to have duplications. I got everything covered. So there you are. So that's kind of what I like to do, is I put it in a little pouch like this and kind of got the bits and tools that I need. So with that being said, important things is you want to know is that know the task and job and project you're working on so that you get the right tool. I always say, always get the right tool for the job you need. Don't compromise or don't think, because nothing worth being away in the field and having not the right tools and you're stuck. So, and I always like to sometimes duplicate, not too much because you don't want to be carrying a lot of heavy weight, but you want to make sure you may have a backup just in case. So have the right tools, have it with you, know the project you're dealing with. So if you're working with small electronics and things like that, you know, this may be all you need here or something small. If you're not sure what you may need, you might need the socket wrenches or socket sets and bit drivers and things like that. Something, a kit like this may cover a variety of needs. If you know you're just doing a project around and you have your toolkit and everything like that, maybe it's just, you know, a simple all-in-one ratcheting bit driver is all you need. Or precise equipment that you may need specialized tools. So keep in mind what you're working on. So my tip is know the project you're working on, know the task, the job you're working on, get the specific tools that you need. Maybe have a second set, or at least a backup in case you're missing a piece or something that breaks, and have that. And the tell is be careful of tools that state that they do everything all at once. Sometimes this says, oh, we can do everything. We got all the bits, 42 pieces, but it's not robust or sturdy enough. It's flimsy and may not torque what you need to do. And so keep that in mind, that there's not a perfect bit driver set for all the tasks. So keep that in mind when you're doing that. With that being said, if you like what you see here, please feel free to hit the like button, subscribe to Tip and Tell Tech. I greatly appreciate it. And everyone, have a great day. Thank you.